you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. MLK. Dear 2021, you were a tricky one. A year of highs and lows, of promise and hope, but in many ways a continuation of your predecessor. In fact, I'm not really sure what to make of you. But as the clock approaches midnight on this 31st day of December, I'd be remiss not to look back and examine your lessons, the ones that shaped me. After all, time will carry on, the calendar will change, you'll very soon become a thing of the past. But those memories, they'll stick around. 2021, as I moved for the third time in 3 years, you reminded me that it doesn't matter where you go. You take yourself with you. And those things in life, the ones that you know just aren't quite right, well, you can't outrun those. The pieces of ourselves that we wish to adjust, they don't heal themselves. They have to be taken head on. And so 2021, you reminded me that the most difficult conversations we can have are the ones we have with ourselves, and they need to occur more than we think. Awareness continues to be that bridge connecting the real and the ideal. 2021, you brought people into my life, and you walked some people out. There's a tendency for us to want to hold on to things we should let go of, as though less is in some way a negative. But what I came to realize is that when you are authentically you, your circle adjusts itself accordingly. You attract the like-minded. You widen the gap between that which serves you and that which does not. And so 2021, thank you for helping me take another step into myself, to see what it is that matters and to distinguish between those things and the things that don't. Thanks for helping me see with some clarity what's worth holding on to and what needs to be let go of, even when it hurts in the short term. And 2021, this year was a step forward with my business. From YouTube to the podcast to keynote speaking, I was happy with how things went. And when talking to a friend of mine about the growth, he asked, well, what contributed to the increase? Simple question. And I could name some small things, probably many of which were inconsequential. But I think holistically, the answer is simply compounding. Just reps and reps and reps over time. I'd gotten so used to putting my thoughts out into the world and that just being that. My reward has always been, the messages and emails from people who cared and appreciated it. And so when things beyond that started happening, it felt weird. Like, why suddenly? Why now am I finding validation in places I never saw it? Well, when you dance without the music for years, turns out you eventually hear this sound. When you spend your days running in the rain, you start to cherish the feeling. Eventually, it all makes sense. In 2021, you reminded me that there is, in fact, an eventually. You were a hand on my shoulder reinforcing the fact that our eventuallys are worth it. And of course, I have worlds to go. But all I needed was to hear that note or two to remind me how precious the symphony sounds. 2021, thank you for those notes. "2021, you pushed me to my limits at times, but in doing so gave me a chance to surpass them. You took things away, and that ultimately left a space for what I truly needed. You left me stranded, and in doing so taught me that when my head is up, I always find my way home. You reminded me in a world of constant change and evolution to cherish those few constants. My family and friends for always pushing me forward and picking up the phone when I need them. Those little things that we learn with time are anything but little. You reminded me that all that's worth keeping is worth fighting for. So 2021, thank you for giving me the courage to continue fighting, both when I want to and when I don't. Because that, at the end of the day, is what it's all about. And well, 2021, to wrap up, let's be real. After 2020, all you had to do was not be one of the most catastrophic years in human history, and you'd be an upgrade. Or as someone once put it to me talking about college, all you have to do is show up and smile and you'll get a C. Right, given the difficulty and the challenges on the surface, a C seems about right. But, and this is largely because of you, I now understand that the most important things don't make themselves known on the surface. We find value when we peer behind the curtain, and underneath it all, 2021, you were a brilliant lesson in resilience. A 101 on how to manage when the road before you feels longer than it should be. When your expectations don't meet the reality on the ground, you demonstrated how much power is contained in one's ability to move forward into that abyss. As much as we'd love for the writing of a new chapter to be problem-free, smooth sailing, blue skies, and grassy fields, sometimes it's harder than that. Sometimes we have to fight for those endings we hold dear. And so 2021, thank you for not only reminding us that those things exist, but that even on our worst days, we're capable of moving towards them.